Time to get ready for the Larry and Needles Show. Hey everybody, welcome to Larry and Needles Show. I'm Larry.
And I'm Needles.
And I'm Kiki.
As usual.
Real glad to be here.
Fat girls here.
I want to say,
Picture you at the tape.
I just want to start out by saying R.I.P. to Fallen, my brother who died, who was also a big Larry and Needles fan, who was going to come on the show and never got to come on the show, Billy. So this show is dedicated to Billy and his kids that are still alive.
But okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's sad.
Well,
Yeah, that was
hopefully
the
still
car I was
subscribe to the
telling you
show.
about in the driveway, the red car.
Oh,
And my
all
dad
right.
just took it to CarMax. Well, he didn't take it to CarMax today. We took it to a guy that he knows that has a dealer to sell it. But,
well, R.I.P. Billy.
Man.
yeah.
They find a way to heaven. You know what pisses me off? Fucking Halloween. I hate Halloween.
Satanic holiday.
Oh, it's a pagan holiday, yes. But also, like these people, there's just people down the street, guy, girl, no kids, no nothing, and they do the house up.
Uh-huh.
And what is this meant to do? Attract children.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It's very, very
like,
odd.
it is one day a year you get to have children come to your house.
And you hand them candy.
Yes.
What you tell them to not do all year long. Don't take candy from strangers. Now you tell them go to the house and ring the doorbell and
Exactly.
grab some shit from them.
And these people go
It is
way,
odd if you don't have kids. Like, what the
yeah,
fuck?
and they go, dude, this guy he's got a Jeep. He has a skeleton on the back of the Jeep on the spare tire.
Right, and he doesn't live in Florida? Like, this is just for Halloween type
Just for
shit?
Halloween, he put it on there. And
Wow.
then she has a skeleton in her car that she drives
Oh,
with.
jeez.
Now, I mean, they are
They
voluptuous.
probably go to Disneyland together, and they're probably chunkers.
Yeah, no.
They're
no
voluptuous people.
Kid Disney.
Yeah, I was gonna say I
let's
could
be
have bet money.
PC.
I could have bet money on
I
that.
saw a guy the other night. Me and Mary went out to eat, and on the way out of the restaurant, it's dark out. A guy rode by with the Ghost Rider shit, where it actually looked like he was like on fire.
Oh, like that, yeah.
But it was more like the Jason mask, you know, just the
Yeah.
plain face. But he looked like it was all lit up like he was on fire, and he's riding down the street real slow down the main drag. Blah, 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 blah.
I don't understand it. I just
It was,
never.
and it's not even near close to Halloween.
But
I
that's-
saw this guy 2 weeks
that's
ago.
how-
But the
works,
problem
man.
is, man, as soon as you get the first, people are. I know I've seen people fucking
works.
decorating before that shit. Like, I just don't understand.
This chap on the corner from my house had full, like the 15-foot skeleton and all the decorations up on September 1st.
Oh yeah, they're all ready to roll.
You should decorate
Dude, it was
like
still
a fucking,
summer.
You should decorate it like a Nazi fucking.
No, I'll go to that house definitely.
My
I'll
house
take
looks
what
like
you're
an
selling.
Kids will be coming
Oh,
there.
yeah.
My house looks like an actual haunted house without decorations. Kids don't come
Well,
to
I
it.
just don't understand, like Lee said with Disney people, there's like this thing, I don't know if you're trying to recreate your childhood, I don't know if, it just seems
Or
very
you had
creepy
a bad one.
that you're like setting you're like chumming the waters for children.
Yeah,
And
which
they-
is fucked up, man.
And
Well,
really,
Or it gives fatties an excuse. Well, I'm just gonna have one candy bar today.
and it's
You
this
know,
big.
It's Halloween.
Well, how
I
many of
gotta
those
eat
little
it.
how many of those little pieces equal one candy bar?
Well, that's up to them.
Yeah, that's subjective to your tastes, which is hilarious. But I like I
Give
said,
one of each.
I don't understand what the fascination is with this pagan holiday. Which, okay, if you have kids, that's a different story. But I see these people, like I know people that get into this shit, like decorate the shit out of the house.
I mean,
it's like,
younger girls, I understand their thing. It
They
gives-
want to get slutty.
well, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it gives
one time
them
a
a
year they
reason.
can dress.
I can get
extra
behind that.
slutty, Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I have no qualms with that.
No, if you want to be a slutty nurse once a year, then
That's
what's to
fine
say to
with
other
me.
nurses?
As long as you're a head nurse.
Yeah.
It's funny, the guy with the mammogram machine. You ever see that? Where they put the boobs in?
It's a hand.
No,
You squeeze
he
it.
wears it on his head. And you put your boobs in the cutout. It says free mammogram.
That's great.
I see. Now that's a guy thinking.
Yeah, exactly. Or the people that dress like the Twin Towers with planes going into them.
Yeah. There are
Very
some
nice.
clever
Yeah, the
people out there.
costumes are pretty funny, but if you're taking it to this next level where it's like, okay, you're all excited when children come to your house, I think that's kind of
Yeah.
weird, right?
Dude.
And like Larry said, you're programmed not to take candy from
Yeah.
strangers.
All year, your whole life, that's all they tell you. And then they say it's okay now. Today.
Go to the weird neighbor's house now.
Yeah.
That's fucking.
Well, hey, did I ever tell you guys about my one neighbor that lived up Thorndale by the old Howard there?
Uh-huh.
There's this family, the Gardner family. Great family. Well, the son would always, I don't think he ever worked, but the guy worked on dirt bikes like every single day. I don't think he
Oh, like me.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
No, I
Well,
know.
I don't think he owned a shirt.
Oh, nice. Like my
Must have
brother.
been one of your long lost cousins.
Yeah, I may have got my style from him. But he always had cut off shorts,
Oh.
and he would just up and down the street all day riding his dirt bike, just meh, meh, meh.
Really?
And yeah, and then
life.
well,
That sounds
when the
nutty.
parents would leave and go on vacation,
Oh,
Party
boy.
time.
the first thing he did,
Build a
you know
ramp.
how every house has a big picture window?
Yeah.
Sure.
Not a big swastika flag. Like, go right in the window.
Get out of here,
I'm surprised I
man.
never
Oh,
told you guys
man.
about this.
Dude,
It's crazy.
really?
Yeah, dude.
This guy.
This,
Yeah, I
this is
mean,
how I grew up in the 80s.
he was way ahead of the curve.
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you.
And dude, yeah, oh, yeah.
I
dude.
love it. So it went from his room to the front window.
Yeah. Oh, he lived with his parents for
He's
as
like,
long as I
Mom
did.
and Dad are gone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show my
Fly my
allegiance.
colors.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
show my allegiance to the Fuhrer.
Crazy.
Fuck, man.
Well, and my dad, he's a huge American supporter, Union guy. And we'd have the American, because he had a huge flagpole in the front yard. He had the American flag in the Palmaya.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
So that was the Nazi flag in the window.
Oh, dude.
Uninterrupted.
Yeah, dude.
I mean,
And it was like clockwork. What we knew they were on vacation. Once the
soon as the
swastika
tires hit the curb.
So my dad used to race at Sycamore,
This guy's out
like the fucking amateur
Oh, yeah.
clay oval, and we'd get these cars all the time, and he'd be like, "Yeah, you and your brother can paint this up." And one time he got this old brown, like '69 Pontiac Catalina, and we had all these cans of yellow spray paint. So we put a huge swastika on the fucking hood and on the doors, and we put 666 on the trunk and SS on the fucking hood on the top of the fucking car.
You were styling.
And my mom, and we're like, yeah, we come in, we're eating, and my mom's like, let me see what you guys did in the car. We're like, yeah, it looks really cool. She goes out there, and it's parked in front of our house, And she's just like, what the fuck? She's screaming and yelling at us. We're like, Mom, it's cool. It's a race car. It doesn't mean anything. And we fucking somehow, my dad didn't make us change it. And he raced around that for a few weeks. 3 weeks, I think the car
Yeah.
lasted.
Well, you know what? It probably scared some people away from him.
But there would be, you know
Or
what?
some
It was
support.
common back
Everybody's
then.
waving high the right way.
Everybody's waving to
And my dad had like no clue that it was even, he just thinks, oh yeah, they're kids.
Well,
You didn't have-
which
I mean-
you guys were.
Which,
Yeah, we
I
were
mean,
kids, and we didn't know the seriousness of it. We
It's
just
so-
thought it was cool.
How come they never like this whole trend now? Did you see this on TikTok where they translate Hitler's speeches?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, how come they never showed us this shit before? They always showed us this angry German guy that was all tweaked
Well,
out.
but here's the problem with the German language itself is a very harsh, hard,
like Polish,
fucking sounding
yeah.
language. Right? It's very hard. Polish is even smoother. German is. It always sounds like you're mad, even when you're saying
Even
the
like the
nicest
women.
thing.
But especially when you're yelling about how you want a white race and how you want to keep your country pure and trying to
I'll
get
tell
your
you what,
point
though,
across.
I mean, I'm hoping those translations are spot on, but you listen to the speeches, they're like, man, this guy's fucking pretty motivating.
well, and
yeah.
you think this guy woke up one day and just hated
He was
hated
patriotic.
those people.
Well,
You know
it was
what I
all
mean?
part of a fucking giant plan. He was just a cog
Cog
in the
wheel.
system.
Yeah, everybody was funding
Well,
him,
he
and
was
then all
thrown
of
in
a sudden-
prison, wrote Mein
Yeah,
Kampf,
yeah.
and then afterwards he got out, and like Germany was all fucked up. They
It was
needed
like
a
it was
leader.
here now.
Yeah, they needed a fucking
What kind of
leader.
books did they burn? You know?
Yeah, no, hey.
I know what kind of books they burned. A lot of people
I
don't
mean,
know
that's the
that.
thing.
They
You,
just
you,
fucking
you don't talk about.
no.
Well, they don't talk about. Well, even
Which was the biggest farce at all.
who's
All
the
wars are fucking.
who's the movie maker that makes that gets a lot of shit because he went down.
Stanley Kubrick.
No, he wrote what the fuck, man? I can't think of it.
Mel
Newer
Gibson?
movie maker.
No, he's an old. Dude, he's made killer movies. Bigger guy. He went down to see talk with Hugo Chavez.
Cecil B. DeMille.
That's
No.
old school, Larry.
He's the one that made the
He said it was old.
Apocalypse Now.
Fucking Coppola.
Scorsese?
Or-
Coppola. Francis Ford Coppola.
No,
I don't
not Coppola. Maybe I'm thinking the wrong movie then.
Yeah, you're thinking of the wrong movie.
He's still alive.
Okay.
Well, you got
I got-
Scorsese.
This guy does the
fucking-
wine?
No, it's
No,
not
that's Coppola.
That's what I'm
Coppola.
saying. I don't know if he was gonna fucking.
I gotta look him up
I
because
mean,
he's talking.
great story. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Oh no, no. Well, here's the point. I know. I can picture his face. But he talks about how World War II. Everybody's America. This America won. America.
America.
He goes into how important it was for the Russians. If the Russians weren't involved, we would have never won
Yeah.
the war. Like
Well,
they
once
were
he started
just as
going towards them.
important.
And that's how
As
you know
winning
that
the
our
war.
enemyhood, our enemyship, opposite of friendship with Russia, is so fake because they were on our side the whole fucking time. Now all of a sudden we're good buddies with Germany and Russia's the bad guy. That just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Well,
doesn't-
that's all propaganda. They
Right.
teach us. I
That's
mean,
what I'm saying.
Want to make Putin out to be the worst guy, but he's probably one of the most.
Yeah.
I mean, guy's riding a horse.
He ain't a great guy.
Huh?
He's not the
Well,
greatest
you
guy,
gotta
but
be-
none of these
none of
leaders
these
are.
leaders.
You,
You gotta be-
can't be a leader and be a great
Well,
guy.
you got to be a narcissist to an extreme level. You got to be
Yeah.
brutal.
a little psychopathic.
Brutal.
You kinda have
yeah,
to.
and shit just doesn't have to. If you're going to run a good country, then you have to have good qualities, and those good qualities are not exactly the most godlike sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
They're very harsh, shall I say? But I mean, look at Kim Jong Un, which is hilarious. We haven't heard anything from North Korea in a while.
No.
Which is fucking-
I heard
Mary-
they're giving supplying. I don't know if they're supplying, helping Russia. They may be helping
Well-
Russia out with troops or stuff in Ukraine.
It's.
But
I mean, what?
yeah, who knows?
I mean, come on, they can't even feed their own people. It's very.
No,
si-
yeah,
it's
I
very
mean, dude-
silly. Like.
It's almost it's borderline pathetic.
They're
It's
like the redheaded
really, dude?
stepchild. Well, we went in there and started all that shit.
Yeah,
you
but
know
it's
what
like
I mean, it's
if you're gonna have a country and that's what you're gonna do to it. It's like at least give them some.
well, they have so many
Semblance
sanctions
of
on them.
life.
That's the problem. You know what I mean? They don't fucking. I love when they shoot rockets into the water. It's very funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's very very silly.
No, did you see when Trump obviously called him Rocket Man?
Oh yeah, and then fucking
CNN or I forget who was interviewing
Elton John.
Elton John, and like, well, what
They
did you
wanted
think?
him to badmouth.
Well, yeah, they're
Yeah.
like, well, what did you think when Donald Trump called him Rocket Man? He used your song.
Yeah. Oh my
And
god.
it's like, I thought it was pretty funny, actually.
Yeah.
He's like, I like Donald, He's like, may not agree
Listen,
on everything,
man.
but he's like, I thought it was pretty funny.
And
it was
he
awesome.
also said something to the effect of, hey, man, I'm a singer. What do you care about? And plus, I'm from England.
yeah, it's like you have nothing.
Yeah.
and
I
I'm
can't
a
vote on
Fanuc.
your thing.
You know
and
what I
I'm
mean?
a Fanuc.
So,
Yeah.
What are you doing later?
Yeah.
Shit
but
like
that's
that.
they just want everybody wants a rise out of everybody. That's the whole thing. Like,
But
you're-
Elton John handled that perfectly.
It was.
It
better
was
than
great.
anyone else that they do.
They're so
People get
disappointed
fucking-
when they don't go along and badmouth
They're
the
like,
Donald.
wait a minute.
Wait a second. You didn't say he's a dirty, rotten,
Yeah, exactly.
You want to hear something crazy?
Funny stuff.
I was
Yeah.
doing some digging into Pablo Escobar.
Nice.
And so obviously we know he was the biggest cocaine dealer.
Mm-hmm.
He supplied 80% of the cocaine to the United States.
Thank you, Pablo.
Yeah.
Also a
And
very brutal fellow.
also
Yeah.
was funded and trained by the Mossad
Oh,
and
really?
the IDF.
I mean, I can see
They
that.
were bringing them. They were giving them weapons. They were
Really?
supplying them with cash. They were doing all this crazy backhanded deals.
I believe it.
Yeah, and guess who was also involved in that? Also the CIA. Yeah, so it's like
Well, that was, yeah.
And then-
I was going to say that first.
everybody's got.
They're
make some
involved in
money.
everything.
Well, you always just think about all this money that this guy has. It's like, how do you take over countries? How do you topple all this shit? But the problem happened was when Los Pepes, when they got involved with them because they were just, what do you call it? Indiscriminately bombing stuff and blowing shit. It's you know what I
Well,
mean.
Pepe,
It's
they
all-
lived down in the jungle, didn't they?
Yeah.
And you know what? Who are they funded by?
Well, that's the whole thing. It's just like with the
Probably
Sandinistas and
us.
stuff like that. It's
they
all,
all
it's,
were.
it always boils down to. It's just funny that Israel gets involved with it. You know what I mean? Like, it's.
Yeah, like what do they care about South America? That was never. I mean,
Well, the thing is, it's not that they don't care. It's just that they have to have their hands
Control and
in
the
every
guy
little
in there to
so
make things run
Yep.
smooth and,
They want to make what do you call it?
steal money. And,
well, they're
and
all
put their
Christian or
crooked people-
Catholic. The religious part of it, maybe like maybe we can kill some more.
Well, yeah, but
Different religions.
I mean, at the same time, it's not against. It's, yeah, you know what I mean. It's like sending it to us. So it's kind of like kill these people, get them addicted, do all this. This is just
Well, yeah,
all
it's
in our
part of-
game.
yeah,
You
it's
know what I
part of
mean?
it.
It's all in this
It's the-
game plan.
yeah.
That's pretty crazy when
It's
you
the
really think
beginnings.
about it.
It's the long game.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Well, look at the most Israeli thing ever is they made these beepers and then they turned a profit on them.
Yeah, you're
I
gonna
mean,
pay for your
come on,
own
man.
I mean, honestly,
Bomb.
I got to tip my cap to that.
Isn't that funny though? It's very fucking
excellent.
silly when you think
and-
about shit like
and that was years out too. Like, it is
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, but
They
that's
said
just,
it took between 10 and 7 years to get that plan together.
yeah, but
Oh,
it's just,
dude,
it all
that's-
goes to
that's
show
not a
like
small plan. dude,
No.
you know?
No, not
It's
at
like
all.
holy shit.
And you got to make sure the right people get them. Well, you know what? Probably those are the only ones using pagers that are that
Yeah.
paranoid. So
Well,
they know
well,
every
they
person
get the
getting
switch.
a
There's a
pager.
reason why they're paranoid. You know, I'd be using a pager. too. You listen to everything.
harder to track.
Well, I
yeah,
just
what it
I just
boils
saw
down
one
to
of
there.
like I just saw one of the biggest turns in history. They were talking about how when the Russian what's that Russian jet that they had during after World War II? Like it was probably during Vietnam. What the hell was the Russian jet they had?
I don't know. I can't think of
But
it
it was
offhand, but
a badass jet.
You mean
Okay.
the fighter jet?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know the Russians were giving it to Iran and surrounding countries. And
Yeah.
Israel were like, we know nothing about this. We can't protect ourselves from this.
Right.
And they got some Persian guy to turn for $1 million, and they said that was one of the most expensive, like
transactions like payoffs.
of getting some guy to turn.
Yeah.
And the way they, made it all happen and everything, and they're like, hot damn, and they,
Well,
they made it happen.
I mean, you got to think that these people are well entrenched in what do you call it?
that world of
Well, no, in espionage.
Yeah.
like they are very like
They
that is
wrote the
that's their
book,
bread
man.
and butter.
Oh,
is,
yeah,
you know
man.
what I mean? With Robert Maxwell, those people really using that honeypots, blackmail,
Yeah.
sex man. You know what I
And
mean?
you know
Like,
what else is-
Sextortion.
is when I'm reading this Kremlin Rising book about Vladimir Putin, and one of the things that said about him was he'd go see this, I forgot the guy's name, but it's like the Russian James Bond guy, and they made movies about him in Russia, and he was like a famous spy, like a KGB guy. And he always, thought that guy was the coolest and couldn't believe when he actually was a spy and was doing the same shit as movie star idol was. He loved that shit.
Yeah, I bet. But
Yeah.
that's
God, what the hell was
but
that
you,
guy's
you
name?
can't
It's
trust
on my
those
tongue.
people. you know?
No, they're fucking
That
double
Ian
agents
Fleming.
and shit.
Yeah.
No, not.
Well,
that-
he's the
that's
one- he's the one
James
He's the one that
Bond.
wrote the
He
books,
wrote them,
right?
yeah,
I'm
he
sorry,
wrote
that was okay. Fuck.
This is a different guy, totally. It's a Russian guy. His last name is like
Okay, well,
Petronov or
That's
something.
fine.
Yorganov.
Yeah.
But dude, they trained all those spies. I mean, it's like,
Oh.
all right, if you want to be an elite spy, you got to be gay. You got
do whatever.
everything. Yeah.
well, yeah,
And
you
you
got to
do
be.
it, and you got to do it well.
Yeah, you got to be discreet. You can't leave fingerprints. You can't, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, in and out. But nowadays, you don't even have to like. That shit's going on. They have these crazy weapons now that we don't know anything about. Like, they could do crazy shit to you from far away. They don't even need
Yeah,
to
they don't need to be anywhere near you.
turn
Speaking
your
of having
color
to,
off. You
Yeah.
know, freaking poison.
speaking
some
of
shit.
having to do anything, though, Kiki, I saw this thing about this cop that integrated the Mongols, 1%er motorbike gang. Infiltrated, and the guy, they're at a thing, and the guy's he's gonna share a hotel room on a run with this other guy who's like a fucking killer, and the guy fucking pulls out a huge thing of meth, cuts it open with a huge fucking Rambo knife, and lays out 2 huge lines and says, "Come on, let's go." And this cop is like, "Holy fuck! Now I have to do this meth. He's gonna
yeah.
kill me."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you
And
can't.
he's like, and I don't want to do the meth.
Yeah, right? Oh,
He's like, man, talk about fucking nervous.
There was a dude that infiltrated the Hells Angels. His name was Jay Dobson. And they completely fucked up the whole case. This guy was balls deep with these people. You know what I mean? And like, they fucked the whole case up. They let him know who he was. Like, now he's just out there with no backing. Like, the government.
no protection.
Yeah,
See,
not
that's-
like it's just crazy how they'll just throw you to the dogs when they're done with you.
That's
Well-
the scary thing, man. Used and abused.
When you run out of.
Well, here's the thing. I saw a thing where so they accused some guy of stealing something from Sonny Barge or some rare coins that he had, and they don't know if he did it or not. But just to make Sonny Barger look hard and put the word out to all the little cliques of Hell's Angels across California, they brutally killed this guy. You know, cattle prod on his fucking nuts,
torture him and
the
do
fuck
all,
out of him, and
Yeah, see, it's messed up.
so then they kill him, and now nobody says anything, of course, and everybody knows. So whether this guy did it or not, occasionally they do shit like that just to fucking flex a
Well,
little,
they
and
have
it's
to.
pretty fucked
Well,
up, man.
Well, that's the day. Well, they have to. Otherwise, it's like a show of
You
weakness.
get walked on.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is also these people. There is no more code of omerta.
Honor.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like these
No
people
one can
turn
shut the
on
fuck
these, no,
up.
people turn on each
It's
other.
amazing how much they
People
turn.
go on podcasts. Some of the shit we listen
amazing,
to is
right?
crazy.
When I'm seeing them on a
Seriously.
podcast, one of these people that turned and they're talking, I can't even believe they're showing their face. I'm like, dude, aren't you afraid you're gonna fucking get offed as soon as you walk?
I
out
understand
Of this?
some of them talk because a lot of the other people are dead now and they'll talk.
Right.
yeah,
But
still,
it's like
Like the 90-year-old
fucking-
Italian mobster where everyone's dead and it's okay now. But when there's still a functioning organization going on, like the Hells Angels or the Mongols or some, the Outlaws, and you're talking shit and these guys are still alive and there's a lot of them.
yeah, all it takes is
That's
one of those
crazy.
guys to get pissed off.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, they
Yeah.
got them, and now it's a little bit more obvious too. Cameras and all this bullshit. You know
Yeah,
what I mean, you
yeah.
have to make it look very, very unnatural.
Yeah.
You just can't go in there and
Scary
brutally
shit.
murder people anymore.
Well, a lot of
people
the-
still do. I mean,
A
don't
lot
get
of
me
the
wrong,
ones
but
they did was roll up on someone, that's riding from another gang in a car and just
Slide the
machine
door
gun
open,
these
yeah.
motherfuckers. Right in broad
They
daylight,
don't care
but
if
they're
they're
in the
seen.
middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
it is crazy how they still operate. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
Like, it's very
Oh, yeah.
crazy how the government lets so much amounts of things happen. You know what I mean? Like, we know this is going on and this is going on, but why are these nefarious forces still able to do things? And I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just saying that the government, you know what I mean? You send $600 to your friend and they do a tax audit on you. That these
I know,
guys
right?
are, it's crazy.
Well, it's the same thing with like the border, like by any like El Paso,
Yeah.
Tijuana, any like Juarez. Dude,
It's
all
let
those
you walk
borders-
right through.
Dude, you
And there
know,
was-
even some of those border guards too, they're taking money to
Oh,
let shit
yeah.
go through, and the government knows it.
Well.
It's hard to get past because these guys are offered big money.
Well, that was like with Fast and Furious with Obama. They caught a bunch of border guards that were helping the cartel run
Oh, yeah.
drugs
Well, it's
and
just-
guns.
It's a lot more than a crooked border guard. It's got to be trained carfuls because I used to freak out. I'd tell, my friends or whoever I was partying with, I'd say, do you realize they have enough dope for every junkie to fix up in every major city across the country every single day without missing a fucking beat?
Yeah.
It's got to be an inside job. It's not just a fucking backpack full.
Well,
Yeah.
when
This
we were
is a
listening
fucking shit ton, man.
100%.
about Meno, with Arkansas, with the Clintons.
Right,
They
right.
were doing
yes,
drops.
yes.
That dude Stephen Kelly that we just listened to. He went
Arkansas.
through, and everybody's in on it. You know what I mean? Like everybody knows you can't just let a shipment go
There's
through.
big money
Every
to be
once in
made
a
out
while, they gotta get busted just to flex a little bit.
Well,
but,
just to show they're doing something.
yeah, spending taxpayers'
But
money
that's the thing.
well.
If you send a package to like Saudi Arabia or any Middle Eastern country, they open every single package.
Sure.
No, like it's
They
gonna
look
be-
at everything.
Oh,
They
yeah.
don't care if it cuts down on, my business needs this. And it doesn't matter.
They don't
That's
give
just,
a fuck.
That's the process. That's how you do it.
I knew this kid from China, and he would go back and visit his family occasionally. He was a druggie, you know what I mean? And he said he was partying there, and I said, "Well, aren't they real harsh if you get caught with weed and shit?" He's like, "Dude, they'll fucking
They'll kill your
execute
ass,
you."
yeah.
He goes, "If you do like coke or some heroin and wipe your hands on your pants and go through the airport and they detect that residue, that's enough to."
Oh, you're guilty until you're proven innocent.
And that's that, and they don't fucking.
Well,
It's
that's how you
not
keep
like-
people in line.
yeah.
I mean, do you want to live in a society that just is no holds bar? Or
And they have no drug problems, man. Now I don't know which is better. I mean, one of the problems is there's no way to get a happy medium.
Yeah. Well, and what kind of good music is coming out of that? None.
Yeah, but you know what?
No, I'll tell you. I
You
think
deal with it.
Yeah, I
You
probably
know?
told this story like 100 pods ago.
Okay.
But I remember, and this was back in like 2000. I flew into, where's Kuala Lumpur? I know it's in, Singapore. I think it's Singapore right there, Malaysia area.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, and when I was in my 20s, I didn't give a shit.
Right.
I was bringing hash anywhere I
Oh my
went.
lord.
Yeah, so I had like 5 or 6 grams of hash on me, crotched. And right
You'd
when
have
I,
been like Brittany Grimes, except they wouldn't
Griner.
trade no
Yeah, right?
Grimes or
You like
whatever.
that better?
so yeah, right,
That dude.
right when you enter the tarmac, just leaving the plane and you get into the airport, I mean, dude, a billboard had to be like 20, 30 feet long by 10, 15 feet tall. And it's the first thing you see getting off the plane. It says, in our prison, in our prisons, we have no drug traffickers because we execute them all. That's the first thing I see when I get into this country.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Oh
I'm
man.
and then everybody there is Muslim and shit. So I'm like, and then feels like everybody's looking at me because
yeah.
They
you're
are,
right.
because you're the only white guy.
yeah. And I'm like, oh my god. So I'm thinking like,
Oh,
are they on to
shit,
me? Are they
dude.
on to me? So I went right to the bathroom. I fucking ate half of it and I just threw the fucking rest in the toilet.
Probably a
Like,
good idea.
Fuck this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
who knows what would have happened?
God forbid something.
Well,
Because
look at
seriously,
that,
they
though.
don't fucking
Yeah.
play games,
Well,
dude.
there you
No,
go.
and
That's what we need
I
to
wasn't
do.
looking into that shit before I brought that shit
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's one thing I check real hard. I say, what drugs are illegal? When
Yeah.
I would be going on tour, especially different countries, and I'd say, how harsh
What are
is
the
the penalties?
Yeah.
Because there's certain places where it would be like, even our manager would be like, all right, dude, Larry, if you got any drugs, do them now, get rid of them, throw them out,
Yeah,
because
get
they're
the
gonna
border
go
points
up
and
our
shit,
ass
yeah.
at this next border.
Yeah.
And certain places
And we need
were a
you.
lot rougher than other places, you
Yeah.
know.
Oh yeah, I mean that's
And-
how everything is.
And it was frightening, man. It was actually fucking frightening. I got frightened coming from California, driving into
Arizona.
Arizona.
Yeah,
They had a
they check.
roadblock
Oh,
at the
yeah, they
border,
got
and I'm like,
checkpoints,
holy
yeah.
fuck,
Agricultural
man.
checkpoint. You know, did you ever see the video? I like that where a guy
It was
pulls up.
that's scary, man.
Oh,
when they
it
got
is.
dogs and shit,
Well,
and there's
they don't fuck-
uniforms.
Yeah, but if you don't have
guns
nothing to worry about,
Yeah.
then you're fine. That's the
Did you see the one guy?
Yeah, that would be
Instagram.
nice.
He goes in one of those checkpoints and he's like, here's how you get out of these checkpoints real fast. Guy comes up, hey sir, can I see this? And he's like, well, do you have a couple minutes to talk about the Lord our Savior? And he starts spewing all this stuff, and the guy's like, hey buddy, I don't have time, but I love it. And the guy just doesn't stop. He's like, all right, well you have a nice day.
Yeah.
He's like, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
That's pretty
It's-
funny. That's how
it
you
is
get
kinda
away with
funny.
doing. But you
People
know,
are
like
like,
I
"Ah, I
said,
don't wanna deal
if
with
you
that."
don't want to be, don't be driving with that bullshit.
Oh,
'cause
dude,
you know it's
Well,
gonna-
you know, that's the thing, though. When you are driving around and you do fucking party, you're not sure.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something in here that got dropped, overlooked?
Yeah.
What's going to get us busted? Something that we
yeah.
don't take too seriously at home might be a real big deal somewhere else.
Like Russia,
Like, I was frightened.
bringing your vape pen there.
That's hilarious.
But like
Oh, whatever.
Poland, you'd think would be,
we just traded
Lenient,
that guy.
but they're not.
they were real lenient.
Oh, were
like
they?
people were partying balls, man. I was like, wow, people were really partying and really friendly. But maybe if you got caught, you were going to get in a lot of trouble. That part, I'm not sure. But
yeah,
nobody seemed fucking worried at.
If you're a foreigner,
Well, we were just talking with our buddy, and his family's still in Poland, and his cousin got busted actually out here, but out there he got busted for something else, and you're guilty until proven innocent.
Oh,
So yeah, he got
man.
thrown in jail for a couple months, and then
And you sit until your trial.
oh yeah, and that's it.
yeah, there's no really. I don't know what their due process is there.
Yeah, but that's how. It
Well,
works.
it's not like here, man.
Well, but these guys sit in county for a while.
Dude, I remember I went on
Sometimes crazy.
a great white shark diving trip off the coast of Ensenada down in
Wow,
Mexico.
man. Amazing.
Yeah, so we met in San Diego, and everybody takes a bus down.
And
across
said,
to
I love you
Tijuana.
to everybody because this might be the last thing
Yeah.
you do.
Well, so get this, and I brought some herb with me, going down there, and I have one of those. It's like a scuba bag. It's a waterproof bag.
Sure.
That's how even when you're
Shit won't get wet.
even if you have like 20 pounds on you, you can drive with this thing, and it won't smell because it's it's basically smell proof. It worked real well. But anyways, there's probably 20 some people on this damn bus. We get at the border, make everybody come off the bus, and everybody lines up with their bag on a table. Everybody just
Oh,
lines
man.
up. So they're just going through like a random quick search. Sure as shit, they pick
You get
my
picked.
bag and somebody else. And me and my buddy look at each other like, fuck. Opens my bag up and like wafts it out right away. just get hit with fucking
Bam, like a hammer in the face.
Oh, because I always had good herb on me, and I'm like, oh Jesus, I'm like, we're fucked, or I'm like, I'm fucked, and all of a sudden the guy lifts up a shirt, puts it back down, rolls it back up. He didn't give
Oh
a fuck.
man,
Yeah, they don't give a
you're
fuck
lucky.
down there.
No, that's
they
right,
got,
yeah,
they
I
got
was
bigger
lucky.
problems down there.
Yeah, I was like, oh man.
Reefer ain't the biggest problem.
But
I mean-
I've been to numerous continents.
Well,
The
I
fucking-
I remember getting stopped going by automobile from I think Germany to Switzerland, and they literally held us on the side of the road without our jackets on, standing there in the freezing cold with because of the little tiny chiclets, you know, the little mini baby pieces of gum, the little
Oh
squares.
yeah, they thought it was a.
They thought it was drugs.
Oh man.
They're like, what is this? What is this? And then my bass player, Steve, had these cheap ass generic aspirins that just said aspirin, and each pill looked like it was homemade.
Oh,
so
like
they thought that
homestyle?
was ecstasy.
Oh man.
So finally, I'm trying to tell the guy, it's gum, it's gum. There's a language barrier. He's not getting. I take the gum and I start chewing it, and I show him. So then he sits there and I chew it for like a half hour, and he watches
He's
to see
waiting to
if I
see if
get
you get-
high.
yeah.
So then they let us go, and I'm like, what the
man.
fuck? Chiclets?
Yeah.
Almost, you know, they were enraged after a while because I'm trying to,
Yeah.
and they think I'm a burnout, and I'm like, hey, dude, no, listen. And they're
Yeah.
like, getting mad. And I'm like, this ain't good.
No, right? Well, you guys were probably profiled too.
Yeah,
Punk
sure.
band, all
Van
that
full of
stuff.
Gotta bribe
fucking
'em.
guitars and
You just bribe
people.
them when it comes down to it. That's
Yeah,
all
right.
it boils
Well,
down to. That's all they want. Is
That's
cash.
the other thing. What if they really, really get mad at that?
Oh, here, I'll tell you a story about that. It's my buddy. He's a drinker down in Tijuana.
Last place to be a drinker.
Yeah. Oh, dude, he was so shit faced, and the cops saw him.
You
Just
gotta
like,
stay alert there, boy.
yeah. Oh, and the cops saw him just fucking stumbling
Hammered.
all over the place. So they picked him up. And they're like, "All right, we gotta take an ATM. You know, like you gotta pay us now because we're gonna get out of here." Goes to the ATM, can't get any money out. Some shit's not working. Go to another ATM, same shit. They got so pissed at this guy because they couldn't give him any money. They went and dropped him off in the middle of nowhere. Yeah.
Rough
Messed
around there,
up.
too. Not a lot of lights around there. Where I lived,
Yeah,
was
they didn't
not-
rough him up or anything, but they were just so pissed. They're like, we've been wasting our time on this fucking guy.
Man.
We got busted buying drugs down there. And it was me and the dude I worked with, and they chained us up in the back, and we had to go to the ATM and go grab cash and pay us off or pay them off.
Yeah.
And they just dropped us off. We didn't know where the fuck we were at.
Yeah.
And it's all it was. Just every time something happened down there, got to pay them off. Got to
gotta-
double
yeah.
park, hand you a clipboard, you put the money in, pay them off.
Yeah. Well, it's, yeah,
Fucking-
it's like they're handing you a ticket and you just got to put a 20 on
well,
there
they
or
would hand you a
something.
clipboard, and then you just slip it
Slip
in
it,
there,
yeah.
and then that's all right. You know, whatever.
Hey,
you got to
hey,
play
honestly,
the game.
If that's how it works, I'm fine with that.
But it's a Wild West down there too. Also, there was man.
I
Let me
would
tell
have
you.
rather paid off the cop that pulled me over on my scooter when I got the $300 and something ticket. I would have rather gave her $40 or $30
Yeah, right?
and
No,
say,
at
have
least
a nice
100.
day.
Well,
or
but that's-
100, yeah, especially
but
if you're going to
that's
pay
in this
300.
country.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it all depends.
And I think
It's gotta-
because even the cops out here, I think when they pull somebody over, they have to call it in immediately. They have to say
on
this,
camera.
This, and that. Yeah.
can't be on the take anymore.
Not,
They're
not
running
like the
your
old
plates.
days.
They have body cams
Yeah,
and dash
yeah.
cams and everything else. A boss.
Most people have a price. I don't know. That's the thing
right.
you're talking about. Everybody, can, you know.
Oh, did you see that one cop that actually he had to resign? Because there's footage of him and driving, you know, he wasn't a white guy, I'm just going to say that. Cop driving a car. He had a woman that was drunk in the back, and everything was recorded. And she's like, I'll do anything to get out of this. I'll do anything. I'd even fuck to get out of this. And he's like, whoa, hey, everything's being recorded. Don't be saying any of this stuff. And all of a sudden,
Cam
cameras-
cuts off.
Cam goes blank, and the car, the what do you call it, the
GPS.
low jack GPS, all of a sudden stops in a place for an hour and a half. And then this cop had to call another cop because he got locked in the back
Oh,
seat.
okay.
with
Yeah, I
him.
heard about this.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. You
Which
can't
is
open
very
that
funny.
shit from the
Yeah.
back.
I mean, when horniness gets in the way of your
Yeah,
job.
right.
But like I
Well,
said,
you can't
most
trust-
people have a price.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, you can't trust her enough to bang her in the front. She's still a criminal.
Yeah, right.
Or is she
I mean,
I
you
wonder
can-
if you took the cuffs off.
I would say you could do that, right?
that.
No, I would have kept him on for sure.
Sadist, Jesus, and that's how horned up you are that you forget that the door's locked.
I know, right?
Should have put
Jeez.
something in there to wedge
Yeah,
it.
at least
Leave the
Stupid.
door
you know,
open.
do something. You're a cop. Nobody's really gonna mess
Wait,
with
and
you.
those Dude,
But
squad cars, the back seats, like they're 100% plastic
yeah,
now.
it's like
Yeah.
molded.
Yeah,
Dude,
you can't hide
that's not,
drugs.
Well, that's not. Yeah, that's
No,
not
it's just
comfortable.
mold. It's like a mold.
It's like a
Yeah,
school
yeah.
seat from the 70s.
Yeah, it's just
man.
molded
But
with
it's-
where your
it's
butt, like
solid.
it sinks
Oh.
you into it, so you can't move or anything. So.
Dude, I
Well,
remember
no,
sitting in
it's
the
like
back there.
hard. It's like
yeah,
no
it's
padding.
like that's what I'm saying. But it's just molded though, so like
right.
you sit low into it, so you have no center of gravity.
Well, and you're
But-
cuffed from the back too.
Yeah,
it's
so-
like, dude, that's fucking. That's
But-
like punishment. That's fucking.
I mean,
torture.
that's
Yeah.
how stupid people
Quite
are.
uncomfortable.
Is that the guy the lady says on camera, "I'll do whatever you want," and then all of a sudden,
Well, no, you even heard too. She's like, I'd even fuck.
oh Jesus, man!
Yeah, and then he's like, whoa, 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 this is all being recorded.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't even think you can shut those things off. Like, how you have to disconnect
Oh,
it.
yeah,
or-
you can.
I mean, they got to have battery. Like, I mean, there's got to be a way.
Where there's a will,
I
there's
mean-
a way.
Yeah, well, yeah, but still, though, I mean, oh,
No, you hear sometimes on a crime
Cameraman in
scene,
the
the
car,
guys
or-
will say, all right, shut your camera off. And then it's off. And then
Yeah.
the next sentence is because we're going to knock
Yeah.
the shit out of
Yeah.
this kid.
or
Cameras
we're
weren't
gonna
working.
plant something on them. But
Yeah, right. It's a good old plant.
well, I mean, fuck, man. How many cops are corrupt? That's the thing. There's always bad of everything. You know?
A lot of them in certain places, all of them.
Well, think about getting up and doing that job in some of these places every single day and seeing what's going on in these places.
Well, you're
and
seeing even if
everybody
you,
hates you.
yeah, and if you're trying to do a good job,
Mm-hmm.
you can't because the higher ups won't let you. And then it's like, what do you do?
Yeah, you can't
They
like,
make
oh,
them
you're not
fall
even
in
letting me
line.
arrest people.
Yeah, well,
These
look-
people aren't getting convicted.
Yeah.
Like, why the hell are you just letting people go that are doing heinous crimes?
It's like, or I arrest this guy, and then I bring him in, and then you guys let him go, and now I look like the asshole. It's like, at least tell me
Right.
this shit.
You gotta do all
'Cause
that
now I got to
paperwork.
watch out for my family.
And then also, they give you false crime rates because people are afraid to report anybody because they know that the wild maniac that just kicked their ass, if they get arrested, will be right back out on the street and mad and ready
Oh,
to
yeah.
really fucking kick their ass. So it's frightening because they don't even get locked up to cool down, even, and they're
Oh, it's crazy.
instantly out.
Oh, dude, one of my pop's neighbors he got arrested for older guy for I don't know if it was domestic abuse, but I don't think he was hitting her or anything like that.
You're
But
shaking her?
I don't. Yeah, he may have been doing the O.J. Simpson shake. I don't know.
Oh man.
But no, all of a sudden, dude, if you get arrested for that domestic shit now,
They kick your ass out.
what do you mean kick you out?
Like, you can't go back. I think now they put
Oh,
like
no.
a hold on it.
Oh no, like you can't even get bailed out. He was in
Oh,
in
for-
the, he was in the
okay.
pokey for 70 days.
Whoa,
70
holy
days?
Yeah,
fuck,
70
dude.
days. Because it's like they call it the calming period. Because if they let you out on bail,
That's a long
they think you're gonna go
calming
back
period.
and
Unless
kill,
they get a
kill
gun.
somebody. Yeah,
Yeah, you get a gun in a week.
yeah.
You know? Well,
That's crazy.
I mean,
Wow, that's
irony
a long
and
time.
the whole-
70 fucking days.
dude, the scales
That's what I
of
said. I'm like,
justice
oh,
is
man.
completely askew. They're letting people out that are murdering people,
Yeah.
and we're putting them on ankle bracelets, and this guy's got to sit in the fucking
Pokey
pokey for 70
You know,
days.
and you got a
man.
business to run and all this other crap.
And
It's
he's
like,
your
man,
dad's age, or he's older than your dad?
No, he's a little younger.
Okay.
But still, I mean, he's
Too
probably
old to do
60.
That's
70
crazy.
days.
65. Yeah.
Oh,
Nobody,
shit.
ain't nobody got time for that.
Well,
No,
obviously, this guy
man.
does.
Fuck.
Well, and you got a business to run, like.
Kind of.
It just fucking wrecks
Yeah,
your
how do you-
life.
Well, we don't
man.
know. We don't know the story allegedly. But 70 days is a long time, man.
Yeah.
That is.
Well, well, here's the story. He got out.
Kills
So
the
he
bitch.
wasn't, he wasn't guilty, found guilty of
well,
anything.
unless he still has a trial date or he has
Other
a
than the
date.
70 days that
Yeah.
he did, everything turned
70
out
days
great.
to cool off is a long time.
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
You're telling me, man.
I cool off in
70
like
days.
fucking like 7, 8 minutes.
Yeah.
It's enough to ruin someone's life.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm not condoning whatever this guy did. I'm just saying, like that's like when they give out the DUIs. They're like, all right, you got to get to these classes, but we took your license away.
Yeah,
It's
right.
like, okay, well, how am I going to get to work? How am
you
I going to
gotta do
do all-
magic.
like,
Here's
you
some
gotta-
roller skates with some
you-
puffies on
You
them.
got to figure it out. Like, okay, I understand I did something wrong, but man,
Well, no, but this is the same shit. Like, dude, if a woman calls the cops on you and says you're beating them, and they take you in, it's like, man, that's brutal.
well, I know somebody that happened to. This dude that I work with, his chick was getting crazy. She was like boozing and drugging a lot, and he was a drinker, but she would like she did that what do you call it, hitting herself and stuff like that.
Oh,
Giving
man.
herself Indian burn.
Yeah. So he put a camera in, and she got all crazy again, and they held him for a little bit, but not that long.
Yeah.
But and he videotaped that shit, and they're like, they don't believe, you know what I mean?
That's
Like,
kind of what you have to do.
oh,
Dude, my last girl was threatening that same shit.
Oh, man.
I was going nuts.
It's brutal.
well, the problem.
And then when she won't leave the house, it's like, well, then get the hell out of here. It's like, get out of a relationship.
yeah.
Right. And then they don't leave.
No, well, I want $10,000.
Oh,
Fuck.
Well, that ain't
well, so do
happening.
I.
Yeah.
And that makes two of us in this relationship.
Yeah, it's like, I don't think so.
But you know, never get it. Whatever. I'm
Yeah,
not
it's
gonna
rough.
Talk about
when
that
it-
shit.
when
It's
it-
just
dude,
funny.
the crazy thing is, too, I remember I'm trying to get a restraining order. Like, well, you can't get a restraining order unless she does something.
You need, like,
so I'm
a
like, I got to call the
So I need to
Or-
have
yeah.
violence put up against
Yeah,
me to.
I got to do this and that. It's just craziness, man.
Well, I don't know
Shit.
if it's just because we're men or because obviously.
Well, it's a blue states too.
Yeah,
That doesn't
they're
help.
very lenient on some things, which we all know that's a
Yeah.
fact. But at the same time, I mean, domestic violence is fucking crazy. I think
it's getting worse and worse. I'm
well,
sure.
and the problem was too when they fucking shut everything down. They put these people in these houses, that hate
Yeah.
it, and the liquor stores.
I was
stay
saying,
open.
liquor stores are open.
But
Yeah.
some things, and it's
That's
like,
it, man.
what do you think's gonna
Yeah,
happen?
right.
It's like a powder keg in some of these places. Like the only,
yeah.
the only like refrain they get is going to work.
Well, especially if they weren't giving out checks to everybody. Oh man,
Well, I mean, how much were?
would've been
It's not that
craziness.
much money though when you think of it.
no, but still,
It wasn't at all. But
Still.
now you're just forcing these people to be in close quarters with each other,
yeah, craziness.
and they hate each other. And now you're stuck all day. Oh my god.
Hey, on a side note, I'm gonna get into some pharmaceutical shit.
Okay.
You know
got
what
some?
was the number? Yeah, no.
Ready
All
for
of a
that.
sudden, got the big pharma companies into like, oh, we can actually make some money keeping people on pills. You know what the first pill that humans were taking for more than like 2 weeks at a time?
Was it? Oh,
It's a very popular pill.
Aspirin?
No, well, no, that like was prescribed
Oh, Valium?
birth control.
Birth control.
All of a sudden, they're like, well, wow, if we can get people to stay on this pill for this long,
Oh,
what else
yeah.
can we
Get them to take.
Yeah.
oh, they want everybody on 2 to 4 pills.
And
Yeah.
some of those birth control pills are dummy pills. They're just
Placebos?
kidding. Yeah. Well, like they
Well, it
want
was
to
all-
just keep you on a schedule. Take it one
Just-
every day. So
Yeah. I don't know how that works, but yeah.
More population control. Mm-hmm. I mean, it just boils down to stuff like that. But
that's it.
think about, I mean, they went from tobacco to food, pharmaceutical, everything. Big Pharma owns. They got the Sackler family. I mean, it was crazy. They paid all that money to avoid jail time, and now they can't have any other charges brought up against them.
Well, the shitty thing is Trump let those guys off
Well,
because Giuliani was good friends with the Sacklers, and Giuliani called in a favor. At least this is how it was told.
yeah, I mean,
who knows?
who knows what was going on behind.
But I think Trump did basically.
Where was
Pardon
it
them?
told? I'm not on TV, on the internet.
What's
Well,
that?
it was part of. I was part of the documentary about that whole
Okay,
Sackler
okay.
family.
Yeah,
but I
they
think
were,
if you look it up, Trump did.
Oh,
I forget what he. It's not like he pardoned them, but he did.
immunity.
Yeah, he basically gave them. Well, he gave
Vacated
them,
their
"Here,
sentence."
Here's your fine. How much did you make? $50 billion. Here's your fine. $2 billion.
It was
And
more
then,
than that.
and
I
then
think
you
it
can
was
never
about-
be charged again.
The problem is that why that they give us these pills and shit never changes. You know what I mean? Like,
Right,
they've been
they-
making these fucking pills forever. And what have they done? They just keep killing people. And if you look at how they're made, the ingredients, it's crazy. The
Like
stuff, the side
Pfizer's
effects.
lawsuit when they for the OxyContins was $8 billion. They made hundreds of billions off
Oh,
of
they
it,
made so
man.
much money.
And they were killing whole towns in like Virginia,
Yeah,
and
West
Tennessee,
Virginia,
and
that's
shit.
all.
Coal miner towns and
Yeah.
stuff.
What?
They didn't care.
No, it's all about getting a profit. They don't. When you still think the government cares about you, you deserve a slap.
And you have some smoking hot young sales rep coming by saying,
What
"We
were
got to
they
get
called,
we got to get your numbers up."
The Cotton Kitties or something like
Yeah,
that.
something
or-
like that,
I wish
yeah.
I could remember the name. Now.
I mean, they were spreading cheeks.
yeah.
Oh, they definitely were.
Well, that's what they do. Yeah, they send those chicks around, and doctors get to flirt with them, and maybe more. And
more
then
than flirt, yeah.
they,
They-
get kickbacks
They're
on the
whores.
pills.
That's all they
and-
are. Is basically then they
Yeah.
making tons of cash off of killing people, and nobody cares.
Yeah.
I mean, they said they were not addictive at first, which is the greatest thing. Ever.
Oxys? Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's
Man.
It's a cornerstone of the heroin epidemic
Yeah,
and fentanyl
totally.
and all of that
Yeah,
stuff.
right. That's
You know, here you go. Now you can't have them.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like,
right.
all right, well, what the fuck am I going to do now?
You know,
Part
this
of the
guy's
plan.
crazy. What's wrong with him?
Yeah, like, what the fuck, people didn't even know what getting dope sick was.
No, they had no idea, and they're trying to work. Like, what the hell's wrong with
Yeah,
you?
like, I can't get out of bed.
Right.
You know, and Jesus, and it just it's crazy the way that the government just takes advantage of us. And
Right?
Next
does
thing you
whatever
know,
they
you got
want to
gang
us.
member phone numbers in your phone, and you're fucking meeting real shady people on the west side. And
all
when you
over
can't get the, you know, when
all
you can't.
over the country.
I'm
man.
just saying
Yeah,
for
right.
us though.
Well, yeah. I mean,
know,
if you
my
want, if you want to do,
situation.
I mean, but yeah, that's
It's just
basically
weird, you know, how that just it leads to that, and you know, and they're in on both ends. They're in on the street shit.
Yeah.
They're in on the legal.
Just like we talk, they know. I know what area is bad in the city. You
Sure.
know what area is bad in the city, but it still goes on every single night, and it thrives. It's its own ecosystem down
Yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah, it's going on right now.
You know, and people get paid. People are getting shot right now.
It's
People
weird.
are dying right now. Like, it's a wild west down there. That's why I choose to stay away from
And
there.
it doesn't get any better. Just
No, it
gets
really
worse.
doesn't. I mean, if you've ever had a drug problem, it is the despair is just the worst. That, you know,
Absolutely.
it's like you can't do nothing about it,
Yeah.
and especially when you surround yourself with other addicts.
Well, yeah.
Well,
And
right.
that's your way of life.
Yeah, nobody else wants to really hang around with you. Regular
yeah, I mean,
people are
birds
like,
of a feather.
oh man, I don't
Yeah.
hang around
Yeah, it's
with
very
this
difficult. You know, at
motherfucker."
first, maybe you're okay, but when you start showing your true colors in your ass, that's when
after a
people
while.
know you have a problem.
Yeah.
Which
All of a
is-
sudden, they're like, "Well, what are you doing? What do you want?"
Yeah, how come you're falling over? What's wrong with you? Oh, I'm fine.
It's no bueno.
But everybody's involved in it. They keeping the border open. Just let everything flow through. Let it spread out. It's a huge money-making scheme for everybody.
Yeah, right.
Everybody's getting paid in some sort of way. I mean, look at the guy Johnson. There's for the schools. They're under budget, and then this guy's $80,000 for his wife's
Office.
first lady or whatever they call her.
Her
Yeah.
office space.
$80,000 renovation, which is hilarious. They just throw it
You
right
want
in
to
our
talk about
faces.
optics?
Yeah, and then it's
Yeah.
racist to ask about it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're being racist. That's the first lady. It's like, dude, I don't
You
even
want to
know if that
hear
exists.
some? You want to hear some old timey shit like I do every
Oh,
episode?
dude, I love these. These are
I'll
good.
just do a couple, and this is a special one. I get to ring the gong because it's a very honorable.
It's a Chinese edition.
Yeah.
Oh,
In the 19th century, which would be like the 1800s, when Britain was going back and forth trading shit with China and probably selling opium and all that other shit and getting tea and whatever, they would talk to the dock workers, and the dock workers would try to learn English, the Chinese dock workers. And it was always fucked up, and the British guys liked it and would bring it back to England and say it to their guys, and then it became sayings, kind of, but it's sayings that we still use today, like "long time no see." That's
Okay.
one of them.
I think he said that wrong time.
Wrong
You
time
see?
no
Wrong
Yeah.
time no see. No can do. Except
Okay.
they sometimes say, no can do, Joe. And then no pain, no gain. So, basically the ones that are missing the connecting
Well,
words
it's like the
and
proper,
such.
yeah, missing proper
But
English.
it's funny, though, because we still use it today. And, no pain, no gain.
It's a slogan now.
Well,
the
yeah,
big hard
it's
movie
tied to-
star says that on the action film or something all the time. You
Tied
know
to the
what I mean?
Austrian.
Yeah, Arnold says
Well,
it
no,
probably.
that is cool. Long time no see.
A long time no see.
Long
Yeah.
time no see.
I love you a long time.
Okay.
It goes a few different ways.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Just
that's
like
pretty
Larry.
cool.
Yeah. And the word,
didn't hear it.
here's another good one, man. In the same time period, there was this island called Carib, okay, Carab. And the people that lived there, Spain would go there all the time. They call them the Caribs. And these people ate humans. So they started calling those people that ate, or the people that lived there were cannibals. So people that ate humans started being called cannibals from that word.
Yeah,
And it
that's
was
pretty
just the
wild.
name for the
Yeah.
people that lived there, but they were cannibals.
Okay.
Yeah,
And it came
that's
from the
pretty
word
wild.
cannibals. I'll save some, you know. But
Yeah, there's a bunch of them now.
yeah.
It's like some marina.
Well, I wonder where
shit.
where was Caribou? I wonder what island that it was actually from. And what is it now?
Spanish Caribs.
Tom Hanks
So
probably
that's
owns it.
probably it's probably called something else now.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably
Well, it's-
too
yeah.
big for Tom Hanks to own. I mean, it's
I don't know
Well,
about
some
that.
other country probably bought it out from back in the day.
or maybe Spain still owns it, but the people that live there.
Yeah, that's what I said. I wonder where it actually is now.
What is it called? Caribou?
I'll try and find out, Kiki.
Yeah, 'cause that's interesting stuff.
Carabs, the Caribs.
It's wild how a lot of that
Spanish
stuff
Caribs.
comes to comes to play here.
It certainly is, man. A lot of like you know, like a guy that's gonna get married and he backs out at the last minute and they call it, what'd you get, cold feet? Or someone that says they're gonna do something and then they don't do it.
Yeah,
What do you got, cold feet? Well, that came from
I know. I think I know this.
back in the day when they'd be marching to war. They would have shitty shoes and they'd be walking through snow and shit and their feet would get frostbitten. And by the time they got to the battle, they couldn't fight because their feet were so fucked up.
Yeah, right.
So they had cold feet. And the first time they used it, I believe, was in the novel Red Badge of Courage, the first guy to coin
the
it into
same-
the
yeah.
English language, but that's where it originated from.
See, that's
Because they
pretty-
actually, their
they
feet were
had-
fucking freezing.
Yeah, they couldn't fight because they probably couldn't move. Probably had frostbite. Yeah, that's wild.
Trench foot.
Yeah, totally. Trench foot.
It makes sense. So, yeah,
My
you get-
dad's feet are all fucked up, and I'm sure your dad's were needles. And any guy that was in the Marines or like the Army back in the 50s and 60s, like our parents, your toenails are so fucked up, and it's from, you know, it's jungle rot from your fucking
Being
shitty.
soaked
Oh, yeah, because they're all
Right,
soaking
right.
in and they don't dry out.
And
yeah, I
you know,
mean,
he goes to the doctor, and
war
the
is
doctor
hell.
takes one look at his foot and goes, "Oh, you were in the service, huh?" You know, so
More- yeah.
almost all of those guys had
more
that.
fucking
They got
pawns
service
just
foot.
fighting for nothing. That's all
Yeah.
it is.
Well,
Well, also
Serving the man.
you get thrown into a country. There's no experience. You know nothing about. You know.
Oh, I sent you that thing about Operation Popeye.
oh yeah.
Did you look at that?
Yeah,
wait,
I
what was
did.
that?
That was the weather
Refresh me.
manipulation that they were
Oh,
using
yeah.
when they
Yeah,
made. I was
yeah.
telling you about they couldn't get that the bridge on the Ho Chi Minh Trail.
Long
they kept
time
on bombing
ago.
it, and they kept
Flooded
on
it.
and they kept on doing that, and they're like,
In
"Fuck
Nam,
it."
in
Yeah,
the, in the
and they
60s, early 70s.
and the weather
bro.
manipulation, and they flooded this area, and it took the bridge out, which is pretty crazy. Because I was reading about because obviously all of this stuff that's going on, all of the coups
And
are
they
coming out.
admit using it
Hurricanes.
too openly, like
Well, yeah, it was
used to-
declassified.
Yeah.
It was.
Oh, yeah.
And then, but it's funny how now they're like, if you say they're doing the weather, everyone's like, "Oh, you're fucking crazy."
Well,
oh
first
yeah,
of
are
all-
they doing the weather, Larry? Like people that know me now, like when something
We
happens,
give you a smart ass remark. Yeah.
like the last hurricane, people I know that don't believe what I believe, they're like, yeah, "What happened?" Not like my mom and dad, like my dad. Did they make that storm? I'm like, well, as a matter of fact, they did.
I don't know about making it, but they can intensify.
They
it.
can't, but
They
they,
can-
do
they
have
can
the
control
ability
it,
to
yeah.
make them from scratch too,
But they can also.
with heavy duty
I mean,
microwaves.
this is
and
all
lasers and
like
shit.
public knowledge. Like
Yeah.
you could look it up. Like I was reading about what do you call it? About HARP and all the like how they shoot this into the ionosphere. And
Yeah.
they open this hole up, and then they could heat it up, and they could create like.
heavy
and the guys
manipulations.
just, like- And the guys, like the ions, they excite that. It's crazy. And like the guy was just saying, "Oh yeah, we shoot it up through the ionosphere, and then the hole just closes back up."
Yeah.
It's like,
It is kinda
and this
crazy.
dude's just talking about this like it doesn't even matter. You know what I mean?
Well, like it's common knowledge.
Well, here's the other thing. How about this? They never ever had tornadoes in Florida. Usually, it's in the more middle.
Oklahoma.
Right.
Panhandle,
Tornado Alley.
Nebraska, yeah.
Right. Now, in this last thing, there was like, a shit ton of tornadoes mixed in with this hurricane. A lot of the damage that got done in people's houses, besides the water, was
Tornadoes.
from tornado
No.
action.
Crank up the 6G, release the trannies.
Yeah. Well, it's like I was reading that they can't.
I mean,
They weren't able to like start these storms, but when the storms start,
They
they're
can-
able. They can manipulate. They can kind of. They wait
They
for them to
can
move, and they
steer
can
'em.
kind of steer them.
Well, not kind of. They can.
Well, yeah, they can steer 'em.
Here's another thing, though. Here's the sad part that people should know: is they do have the power for when one is starting to make it
Make it-
dissipate instantly and not even happen.
Yeah, Bill Gates has a patent on that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they let that shit rock and roll and probably make it
yeah.
intensify. Because I saw a thing, my wife was watching some weather thing on TV, and the news guy said, wow, I just watched this hurricane jump up from a Category 2 to a Category 5 in like the quickest time I ever saw in my life. This is insane. And I'm thinking, man, they're probably
Yeah.
doing that.
Oh, yeah.
No, who knows what they're doing?
who
All we
knows?
know is that they have the capability to do it. If you go look in Alaska, that's where a huge HARP station is. If you look in other countries, they have the same radio antennas going up.
Well,
They're there for a reason.
Yeah, and yeah.
If they didn't have
Harp's
that,
no secret.
Yeah,
You know?
I
we
mean-
all saw the clip of Biden saying if we vote Democrat that he'll decrease the
Yeah.
intensity and frequency of these
what
storms.
is it? High altitude aurora
But, yeah, I mean-
research program.
The guy's senile, so it's like, who knows?
Well,
you
the
know,
funny
everything
thing is,
comes out
he's
of his mouth.
turning on her, which is
Well,
hilarious.
Yeah, right.
You start saying
And
the
this
truth
is-
at the end.
Well, but this is a
Yeah.
whole nother thing also.
Here, like my check
this
this
is-
out. My aunt had 5 kids. I had 5 cousins, and then when she got dementia at the end of her life, they asked her,
started-
"How many kids do you have?" She said 6. And they're like, "No, you got 5." No, she was saying the truth. She had another hidden
Specific
kid
about- yeah.
before
Oh, man.
that was passed off as like her little brother because she was so young
Yeah. Oh,
when she
man.
had the kid.
The truth comes out.
So they're like, "Remember Uncle, Bill or whatever? He's your brother."
Yeah.
And the
Holy
kids were
shit.
like, "Holy fuck,"
Yeah.
you know.
No, that's how shit works sometimes.
So
It's
she
weird.
said the truth. Maybe Biden, he's saying shit he shouldn't say that he knows. Like, yeah, we'll decrease the intensity and
Yeah.
Well, he's out
ferocity
the door,
of these.
so he don't
Yeah.
whatever.
Right.
He's
Whatever's
putting
going
Trump
on.
hats on.
Yeah, whatever's going on here, it's another psyop. It's all you
Yeah,
know what I mean.
oh,
Like,
yeah.
all of a sudden, this guy just turns and is like Trump. And
It's
puts a
funny.
Trump hat on, and
It's funny when he did that, though.
I mean,
man. That's like the
it-
best thing he did his whole presidency
Well,
was put on that MAGA hat.
If
That
you
was
would look
great.
at it for face value, you think that it's because they just pushed his old ass out. You know, I mean, no vote, no whatever. Politics is
Well,
it's just fun.
any chance he gets to dig into Kamala or make her part of one of his bad decisions and connect her to him, he does it now.
No.
On some kind of media or in
Oh, yeah.
public.
She was part of everything. She was there for everything. Every decision.
as she's steadily trying to separate himself from that motherfucker, he's making
yeah.
sure she stays anchored,
Oh,
man.
yeah, and she's flip flopping on everything.
yes, just like she does in the
I
sack.
came from a middle class family just like y'all did.
Man, let me tell you, when we hire a guy to do a job, we go to the gang box, we have a cup of coffee, we can tell if this guy's lying in 5
in 1 second,
minutes.
not
That's
even
it.
5
And
minutes.
it's like,
Have
all
a
right.
conversation.
Yeah, we know we know
Kamala,
what's going on with you.
Kamala grew up in like the richest subdivision suburb, one of the nicest areas in Canada, in a Canadian suburb. They brush over that, they gloss over
But
that.
her house was probably the poorest in the neighborhood.
Mom, they're just gonna keep on feeding these idiots lies. We all know who it boils down to. No
I
one's
like
in
she's
control.
talking like Miss Cleo and shit.
What's that?
She's talking like Miss Cleo.
Oh yeah, you know what? She's a fraud. She's a fraud.
She is
Really,
great.
it's just like I can't.
And then
believe
she was
people-
talking like she was from the deep south at the one, and then at the other one she put, what was the other accent she put on? Oh, real heavy ghetto accent.
Then when she was in
Yeah,
Detroit,
she
but
is-
you know how
oh,
mad
man.
Killary's got to be because this lady.
Oh, she's stealing her shtick.
Oh,
Obama's
Those
starting to get
voices
worried.
are my idea. Hillary
Yeah,
wants
right.
to have
I
a
carry
fucking
hot
hit.
sauce in my purse at all times.
Oh,
You remember
God.
that?
jeez.
I forget where she was in the South or something. She's like, "Oh, I carry my own little hot
It's
sauce."
such
very
bullshit.
funny.
Yeah,
that-
it is.
The
I mean,
way they pander to these idiots.
That's the thing. It's comical. Like people eat this shit up.
They
Oh,
do.
Hillary's one of us. She has hot sauce. I'm the same shit.
Well, they were interviewing
She
some.
just killed 3 people on the way.
I was
here.
watching
Yeah.
some shit on the internet, and they were interviewing some actual people in Chicago on the street, some actual neighborhood blacks, and some women, and you think that the girls might, and they're like, she ain't one of us.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She
None of
doesn't
them,
even-
not one person
Dude.
said, "Oh yeah,
They're not
Kamala."
stupid.
She doesn't even know who she is. She has like personality disorder.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
she makes one thing up, she makes another thing up, and then her handlers tell her,
That's
"All
what
right, you're going to
happens-
be black now. You're not going to be Indian."
Yeah.
And it's like, and now she just dude. This is the problem. She's dangerous because she will go along with
She'll do
anything
Yes.
Yeah.
that they tell her to
Exactly.
It's like
do.
De Niro or
No
some
shame,
actor that's
no
been
shame.
dangerous.
acting and acting for
Dude.
years, and they have no personality in real life because they're so used to playing a part
Yeah.
that she don't even know how to be normal,
Dude,
Kamala.
she went up on that podium
right.
and said, well, we're giving these people $750 and didn't even bat an eye. Like, what kind of human would say that? Like, that has, you just handed out all this money to Israel and Ukraine the week
Did you
before.
see her drink that Miller High Life on Eddie Colbert or whatever?
What the
and
fuck
you could
is
tell
it?
by looking at the cans
I
that they were
see.
room temperature.
Oh,
man,
man,
oh,
Stephen
man.
Colbert.
Stephen Colbert.
She drank a High Life and Colbert?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like,
man.
you want it?
love High Life.
Yeah.
And she said, and even what her comment was,
Oh,
the
she said-
last time I had a beer
Yeah,
was at the
ball
baseball
game. Yeah,
game
okay.
with Doug, and it's like, what
Yeah, 'cause
game?
it's not vodka.
When?
That's
Right.
what it- if it was vodka, then she'd be all over it.
Why
That's why they
no?
can't give her a mixed drink.
man.
She just drinks out of the bottle.
Chablis and Xanax, I
Well,
think.
She just does such a shitty job of it, too.
But don't hide it.
Yeah.
Like you just if you can't, if you're so stupid you can't hide it, then that's a problem.
Kid Rock, I believe he drinks Bud Light.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I
Oh,
believe
yeah.
that. I believe that.
Well, the best is with her Glock and stuff too. Like,
Yeah, what kind of gun do you have? A Glock?
I mean, that doesn't say anything.
Nothing.
Yeah, it's like, no, you're specific. If you
Right,
say
a
what
gun
kind of
owner
gun
says,
you-
yeah, I got
Kind
a
of car do I
38.
have?
Usually
A
you
Ford,
say the
no?
caliber
Yeah,
and
I
you
have a
don't even
Glock
maybe
19.
know what you have,
Yeah.
like me. I got a 38. I don't know what the fuck it is, but it shoots bullets out.
Yeah, I know it's a 38. Yeah.
And,
It's a farce.
No,
man.
it's just funny how they come back and there's you know what? I just want it to be over.
she's
I
like
just
the
want it to be
drunk
over.
mom,
right?
like the friend that has the mom that's kind of buzzed when you get home to you go to his house after school and she's acting
All
kind of
wacky
goofy
and
and
shit.
shit.
The box of wine is almost empty.
Yeah.
She's that. That's
Just
Kamala
spinning
Harris.
around
man.
drinking out of the box of wine.
Exactly.
Which one of you
Exactly.
boys wants to give it to mama?
Yeah, go start the hot tub.
Yeah.
Fuck.
But
Mom, not again.
it's just funny that these are the two people we have to vote for.
It is.
Like, come
it is.
on.
It's
it's sad.
absolutely
It's really-
crazy.
Yeah, really. I mean, we should be able as Americans, and it's like, just let us be free again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
and
so
they
under
should let,
everybody's
want that.
thumb.
and they should have a guy always, and maybe he doesn't have to be president, but if advising the president, a Trump-like guy that's a super fucking successful businessman
Well-
that knows how to run shit properly.
They don't want that.
Advising.
Yeah, they
it's
don't
not
want
that they
that.
don't
I
want that. They
understand.
won't let
but
that in.
wouldn't that make a lot of sense?
Oh, Larry,
Well,
you
that's
just
the-
said the
that's
words you
problem.
just said. Yeah,
it
that-
would. That's the problem, you know?
I mean, think of that.
nonsensical is the way to
A
go.
guy
right now.
that fucking is self-made, successful motherfucker. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
he could probably figure shit out and help you out.
And
Well,
he
it's
had-
all about
I
who
mean,
you put
he's
around.
done some shady shit, so he knows how to deal with all these shady countries.
Well,
he knows what to
yeah.
And
do.
also the problem is,
And they
this
know he
club,
does.
This club that they have, they don't want to give it up.
Yeah, no.
You know what I
Right.
mean, they'll fight tooth and nail the fucking.
Oh, yeah.
And the problem is also, like, we go back to pharmaceuticals. These people work for the FDA, and then they go work for pharmaceutical companies and learn how to
Afterwards.
circumvent shit,
Oh, yeah.
and they get, they pass bills. Oh my God.
Or they
It
get
is
promised
the amount of
real
corruption.
good jobs from a company while they're in office for after.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, when they
and
get out
then
of office.
they're gonna
Yeah, it's the
help
same-
those guys
it's the same.
along, and that's how we.
Well, yeah, 'cause they got-
that's how
a
the guys
circle.
that make OxyContin only get charged $8 billion. No one goes to jail, and
Well, 'cause if you break the
seriously,
law-
whole towns die.
If you write the law, you know how to sidestep it. Then that's the easiest thing to do.
exactly.
You know what I mean? And you know who to grease. You know all.
Dude,
these
it's the
people.
same thing when the banking industry failed back in 2008, 2010. You know, it's like, all right, we need fall guys. Nobody's going to go to jail, but now you guys are going to go work for the government doing regulations, this
right.
and that. And they all you serve
Everyone's
your,
gonna
you serve
forget
your
about
4 or
you
5
know.
years, and then you
Yeah.
get your cush job
Do your
again.
penance.
or the
Yeah, that's
fucking
how it
golden,
works.
golden
Oh,
parachute.
no, yeah, you're still gonna get your
you know,
golden
yeah,
parachute, but-
Fuck.
Well,
You're not going to have your title anymore, and that's what these narcissists
That's the thing.
care
They're
about.
narcissists.
Yeah.
Very, very heavy.
They want the
narcissists.
title, man.
psychopaths, and they will do whatever they do,
Yeah.
crawl over other people. to get the
Sociopaths,
money.
they're everything. They
Yeah.
fit the bill, man. It's craziness.
No, but and they don't. And the problem is that you wonder if it haunts people. It's gotta haunt people to some extent.
When these
It
people
really
get
does.
older and retired and they're out of it, maybe.
Sometimes,
You know?
like one guy, who was
time
it
are we
that
at?
got accused? The guy accused someone of not paying his taxes, and then on his deathbed, it was a politician. Then on his deathbed, said, I just said that for political reasons.
Oh,
but
yeah.
meanwhile, that other guy's whole shit got fucked
they,
up.
They smear you.
Whatever.
Yep.
Seriously fucked up, and tarnished his name and fucking.
Oh, yeah, his family, all that shit.
And then they start looking into what did your kid pay taxes? Did your wife,
Yeah, right.
And then it's like, dude, Ain't nobody
It's a
need
vicious
that.
circle, man. It's brutal.
What time we at?
Yeah, it's gonna be an
An
hour.
hour and 4.
All right, let's close it
I
out.
feel it.
I'll tell you what, though, the best part was when my dad just had that operation, and they gave him oxys, and
Did they even like warn him about him?
I warned him.
Yeah, but did the doctors?
Well, he's seen me be a fucking dirtbag and what I went through, so he already knew to be very
But the
careful.
problem is, like, the doctors, do they like warn the people? It's like, you know, you
I
take
don't,
these
no,
for
I
so
don't
many
think they
days.
said
No, not
anything.
at all, because I got him when I was a kid and I got hurt.
And I think
Yeah,
they
see,
gave
it's
him
crazy.
30 of them, but they were only 5 milligrams. But that was knocked him on his ass because he never,
Well, yeah,
he's not a
so-
druggie.
yeah.
So after he did him a few days, and he says to me, "Man, now I know why you liked all that dope and shit." He's like,
Yeah,
that
right?
feeling between being asleep and
Cloud
not
nine.
being asleep and
Yeah.
not. He's like, "Oh man," and I said, "Yeah, that is
Yeah,
amazing."
and that's just a taste, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but it
my
gets worse
dad's
from
like,
there.
now
Well,
I
yeah,
see
you're right.
why you like that shit. He totally understood
Just
once
gonna
he.
chase that
Yeah.
all the time.
Well, then, yeah, you're chasing that initial.
Yeah.
high. That's craziness, man. It
So,
is,
but thank God he fucking. My dad had lung cancer, and they
yeah.
cut a part of his lung out, and he's an old man. And when they were asking him all the questions, like, "Can you drive? Can you walk without a walker? Can you go up and downstairs?" And then I started realizing, man, there's a lot of guys my dad's age that can't do
can't
any
do
of that
it. Oh, yeah,
shit.
right.
And I was like, fuck, man.
no, and your old man looks good.
He's mowing the lawn. He's
Yeah.
fucking.
Well, no, it's because he keeps doing it.
Yeah.
He's part of that.
Well, he was in the Marines, and
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. He's part of that generation that built this country. You know,
yeah, totally.
hard times create strong men.
Yeah, and he was tough because his dad was a fucking tough guy, like very
Just a man-
not
a
an
man's
understanding guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just a little fucking off
Well,
his
it's like
rocker
it's like
too.
all our fathers. You know, they just
Yeah.
don't know when to say no. They're stubborn as hell with certain shit, and they just do it because it's got to get done.
Yeah,
You know? It's
Yeah, my
crazy.
grandfather never went to the doctor once in his entire life, from birth to death. He wasn't even born at a hospital.
That's pretty
It
impressive.
is badass, dude.
Dude, I was actually just talking with
He
my old
lived to be
man.
94, and he fucking drank booze and partied
Yeah,
to the
dude, see.
last fucking day.
That's like a dream right
The
there.
last day.
Dude, I was talking to my old man. I forget how many days he said, or how many years. I think he said 30 years, never missed a day of work. I'm like, holy
Fucking awesome.
shit. Yeah, I'm like,
I never
that's
missed
impressive.
one gig in my life for many, many years, since like 1980 or something, except
No
once when I fucking OD'd and I had to make up some lie that I had the flu and I was
Yeah.
and that was, I fucking, man,
That's the
I
only
felt
time.
terrible.
Yeah.
Man.
All right,
I
let's wrap
still
this
think
thing
about
up.
it. All right. But that was it,
Yeah,
man,
I gotta
once.
take it
But
back.
that's
Guys.
commendable, and that's fucking guys.
It is.
Nobody wants to miss work these days. These cocksuckers don't want to work a day.
Well, I don't want to work.
No.
Yeah, well, we have to. But the thing is, you
Depends
have
Coming
what
from
to.
the
you
guy who
gotta
doesn't
do.
work.
It depends how hard are you working at what age
Yeah.
is what it is.
Well, that's the thing.
All right. We got a very serious episode today.
Yeah, this one was a little off.
No, it's all right.
Did you stop already?
No, I didn't, but I'm going to stop right now. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Here's our theme.
Yeah.
Peace.
That was a serious episode.